Um, so it definitely seems that upon hearing words like enlightenment or liberation, um, a search can kick off for those that maybe the sensitive few that are seeking for something other, seeking for something that is an answer to this aliveness, something that is an answer to uh, the question, who am I? Um, and seeking, because more often than not, seeking is presented with the potential for fulfillment. It seems to kick off and it can take many forms, but let's just say one of those forms is spirituality and seeking for the ultimate prize of enlightenment, um, which seems to come with lots of imagery of being at peace, being wise, finally having arrived, and all of this making sense. And I think there's always an image or a picture painted of what that looks like, and it's normally one of ease and or a state. And the problem with that and what's been suggested in these sorts of gatherings is that there is no one in there inside the body that can achieve or attain this wonderful thing called enlightenment or liberation. And that's the fundamental um, problem. And that there isn't anyone. That's really what's been suggested here at this gathering. So no one that can attain, no one can that can have, no one that can be liberated, and no one that can fall away. And really, what's left then in that is just this immediate um, appearance, this immediate falling, this immediate where nothing can be held onto, nothing can be held. Um, and the reason nothing can be held is that there is no one. So it's sort of very ordinary and also quite a dramatic sort of sentence to say that there is no one. There's apparent bodies, there's apparent thinking, feeling, striving, and all of those. It's just that the suggestion being made here is that there isn't anyone doing anything. There isn't anyone at the source of all that. Now, it can be felt that there is, and there can be felt that something needs to be happen for all of this to be revealed. But really, we might chat about that this evening. There isn't really answers. There's responses to arising questions, and yeah, it's sort of a mystery. It's a mystery that this gathering is happening at all, and it's the same mystery that it may feel like, you have made a decision to, uh, click into this gathering. But maybe we'll talk about that, and maybe we'll talk about whatever we appear to talk about. So, um, uh, this isn't special or a state or holy. So, and you can't do it wrong or you can't do it right. You're just not doing anything at all. So that's the suggestion. Let's have a go. It's a small little gathering here, so let's see what's there to be asked and said. And if you haven't been to one of these, you can just click unmute and ask, or you can put a comment in the little chat box thing, and let's take it from there. Okay, so let's see what happens.
Hey Frank.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, I think my name is probably Observer. but it's supposed to be Lauren.
Hello,
Anyway,
observer.
hi. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's like everything is exactly what it is
Mm. But it
in
appears to
this,
be, yeah.
what it appears to be, in the sense that, ease, this idea of ease, right? There is ease in life. There is. And it comes and goes. And you can, it seems like, learn how to have more ease. For example, you know, by maybe learning relaxation techniques or whatever it is. And, um, belief in um, optimism, or things are good, or, you know, or I am safe, or like these types of ideas, they can create more ease in the body. And that's no less true just because there isn't someone doing that.
Well, it's just what's appearing to happen, yeah.
Yeah, because like I went down that road pretty far, like trying to feel better and not drink alcohol. And it's been a long time. It's everything's fine, but um that's how the search started. And um it's like uh it's not right or wrong. It just is temporary,
Mm.
you know? I guess that is a question because, well, you wouldn't have an answer for it because you wouldn't be telling me how to achieve something. Um, but I sometimes wonder if there's something like, I guess, counterproductive about trying to achieve ease, or whether it's neither good or bad, you know?
Well, really, the ease that I'm talking about includes an ease for there to be an immaculate tension. In other words, you know what I mean? It's just tension then. It's an ease that includes tension. It's an ease that includes stress. And what's wanted is, oh, just ease. So what, like, it's like going for a run does appear to clear the head and things seem to happen, during running. Isn't that
Right.
wonderful?
Hmm.
Um, but you see, the suggestion is that there's no one doing anything, no one asking that question, no one wondering about ease, no one trying to get more ease or relax about wanting to get ease or all of that, all that messing. It's just what's appearing to happen.
Yeah. And so I guess like I is it's not just stopping believing the thought or story that I'm a person. That it's not just stopping believing that there's someone in here. There's something else that happens, or that.
But you see, the thing is, who could stop believing that when
Mhm.
already there is no one? So you see, it's over because nothing happens. And it's like a little reboot, but nothing happens. And so it's free to be exactly how it appears to be being. That's the lock, stock, and two smoking barrels of it all.
So who is signing into this meeting and believing that they sign into the meeting and that their name is Lauren?
Who just said that?
Yeah, who said that?
It doesn't begin or it doesn't end the mystery. It's a boundless mystery. And where mystery is also a mystery. It's like nothing makes any sense. It's not like, there's certain parts that, okay, sense can be made of. There's nothing that
Right.
can be made sense of it. So you see, really, this is just extraordinary and wonderful poverty because absolutely nothing is known.
Yeah.
And so then the best that can be said in this poverty is, there's just what is or what's appearing.
Right.
And the suggestion about there is no one, sure, we're talking about something that's not there at all.
Wow. Mm, I have nothing left to say. Uh, thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Frank.
Hiya.
So, Frank, there's no one here, there is no one there, no one anywhere, no I. Yet I still say that I'm picking up my phone, and that's all right with you. You don't need to have convoluted terminology for that. I still say, okay, I'm going to have a glass of water, and somebody is such and such is getting me, bringing me something, coming to pick me up, etc. So we still use these references. And so my question would be then in a similar way, why can we not say, okay, I'm doing spirituality, I don't know, doing whatever, meditate, I am looking inwards to what my beliefs are. I have this belief. Why do you divide between the outer and the inner? And why cannot we, approach, why can't we say, okay, this is done. There's nobody doing it. Now let's carry on with life as it is. And let's just talk about our belief systems, etc., in the same way as we talk about getting water.
What's the question?
The question
Talk
is,
about
why can't we also, why do we have to object to talking about beliefs? Why do we have to bring the idea of nobody there? Since nobody there is a default thing in the background anyway, there's nobody there.
hmm.
But we can still talk about phones and we can still talk about the table. So why can't we also talk about my belief, your belief, meditation, etc.?
So who's stopping that?
You are.
Right. So you want to come to this meeting to talk about beliefs? That it?
No, no, no. I am trying to explore your position on these things.
I don't have a position on these things. What do you want, Ali?
It's a simple question, Frank. I want to know why you view the inside to be different from the outside world.
So I don't view the inside to be different to the outside. I don't have that, and I don't have a view on that.
Okay.
Is there a question?
That
If
was
this
a
if this
question.
if this was if you want to talk about football, then there's places to go to talk about football. Um, so this sort of communication resonates as it does. It's sort of really agendaless. It could be about football or beliefs or whatever, but it doesn't seem to be. It seems to be, for the most part, a resonance with this sort of communication and questions that seem to arise. In the same way, there's a question there about beliefs and why am I stopping beliefs? But that's just imagination, pure and utter imagination. And it's also really all that's been said, if you've noticed, is really that there's just inescapably what's happening.
But do you think that this falling off of the self, do you think the falling off of the self happens when there is a change in the brain state, or you don't care about that, or
No, you see, so the suggestion made at the very start is that there is no self to fall away. Now, that resonates the way it resonates. It can still, in spite of that sentence being said, of course, it is imagined then that there is a self that can fall away, that this voice and this face with glasses and a hat and whatever must know what he is saying, because that lives in knowing and guessing, and then this must live in knowing. And really, the response to that is that there's nothing known here at all. And also nothing isn't a thing. So that can't be known either. So that again, these words resonate and are heard the way they're heard. But really, we're not we're not talking about beliefs, but beliefs then can come up in, and then there's a response to that. So the killer is that already the self, nothing happens. That's the killer. That's the killer that's happening, right? But if it's felt then that there is one, and you were saying, Ali is saying, well, no, I feel like I'm here and I need to fall away. Well, then that's what's been said. And if that's believed to be the case, then that's believed and felt to be the case. It's not going to be validated in the same way. If Ali's claiming that there is no self and it's fallen away, then great. That's not going to be validated either. Both suggest a sort of a knowing.
but Frank, you, I think you feel, and most people who have similar talks or whatever, feel that there was a time at which they realized this. I don't know how to get past language,
It's okay.
but
Yeah,
they,
yeah. I mean, I know what you're saying, and I can understand why you would say that and all that. But you see, the response is just so for that. What's looked for there, I know what's looked for, and the response though is just there was no self to fall away. So
yes,
you
I
could say
understand.
at a
So there is,
certain, you could say there was a certain time when the seeking appeared to stop.
yeah,
The seeking appeared to stop.
okay,
But
let's go with that.
it would be the same as saying uh, it's like when you decided apparently decided that you preferred your steak rare. It's the same appearing to happen.
Okay, let's go with that. Steak, you like your steak rare, etc.,
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
seeking stop. What
Mm.
I'm asking is that, like you're drinking water, was there a, you think there was a physical state change in your brain, or
I don't know anything
there
about
is,
that. I don't know anything about that. There's, I just
do,
really
do you
don't.
leave the door open for that sort of possibility that there was a physical state change in your brain which made it possible for you to drop the seeking or to like to realize that you like steak rare?
Well, I mean, if the brain can be so first of all, there is no self that can fall away. So
That's
what?
not what I'm
No,
asking.
no, no. But if you let me, will you just if I could finish and when the brain can be scanned apparently, and so for example, if it's loaded up on psychedelics, it'll look tremendously different. But it won't. Um, when the brain scan is on, it won't spot a self in the brain, and it can get the most wonderful microscope to go searching in the brain for a self. It won't find it, nor will it find it in the heart, in the lungs, in the belly, in the throat, in the mouth, or anywhere, because there isn't one.
Yeah, of course, I understand that.
All right. Okay.
But the question has to do with whether there is a something in the body mind in which this happens, or it is something, in which this non-event or whatever you call
It's a
it.
not. It's nothing happens. Did you hear what I when I just described there about the brain, and that the brain fundamentally changes? You know, when it's lit up, for example, I think there's been brain scans of a child, and then it's compared to, for example, a brain scan of someone on psychedelics or someone later in life. You know, they describe the brain not being as lit up. Let's just say, I don't really understand how they do that. But what I'm saying to you is that there isn't a self in there anywhere. So, for example, then, if there's a cup of coffee being drank, the brain could change. Like you say, if water is being drank, the brain could light up differently also under certain whatever. But there isn't a self. Sorry to disappoint you.
Oh, why do you think it's disappointing me?
Well,
I'm being curious about this, trying to
yeah.
investigate the nature of, or rather investigate what
Well,
you,
you see, I suppose I feel for the most part it's a tremendous disappointment. That's what I feel.
it's not a disappointment for me. It's
Okay,
not at all a disappointment
great.
of me,
That's
but I
wonderful.
still,
That's great.
because people ask me questions, I'm asking you questions,
Yeah,
and you
and
sort
you're
of
get-
seem
and
to
and
get
you're getting
annoyed.
and you're getting responses. Isn't that great?
But the brain thing is not, you really, because in the brain, you
You
can't really view consciousness either. There's
you
no such thing as consciousness in the brain, or consciousness cannot be derived from matter. But we know that it is somehow connected to brain in the sense not that consciousness, the brain creates consciousness, but it's true that if you the the self doesn't feel conscious if it's, for example, asleep or dead. By the way, what happens? What is your view on what is that mind body's view on
That's
dying,
much
and
better. You've really asked that, but much better. Go on. What's the
what is
question?
the view here on what happens to the mind when the body dies, and the self, whatever remains of an imagined self, let's say the illusion of self. What happens to the illusion of self when the body dies?
Same thing that happens in deep sleep.
And then you wake up again, or what?
No, no, and I'm saying there's nothing that can be said about that, or nothing can appear to be said. The body seems to disintegrate into the ground, eaten by worms and whatever else, just like the leaves falling
But that's not what
and
happens in
dying
deep
and
sleep.
withering.
In deep
Well,
sleep, the ego survives deep sleep.
right, okay. I'm saying there's nothing in there. Deep sleep. If deep sleep, there's no trace of anything about deep sleep. So I suppose it's a way of saying that that movement or that seeking or those thoughts die every night in deep sleep, you could say. Because you were asking that question, that was what I said.
So you disagree with the views of karma, etc., the rebirth, and or
I don't really give a crap about them. I mean, it's just the point there here in these gatherings is that there is no one that can come back.
I don't give a crap about a lot of things, whether my phone is an Android or iPhone, but I still acknowledge that there are two phones there.
Okay, but did you hear what it's that there's karma and there's just no one that can come back in reincarnation, or there's no one that when there's apparent, this karma thing, there's just no one. So that's
Yeah, and that has always been the view of the Buddhists and Hindus and whatever, of the enlightened people, that they are not there to come back. But on the other hand, the ones who still have the illusion of self, according to the old
so
traditions,
so who has the illusion of self? Just so we might take a break then after this, Ali, so maybe somebody else might want to ask a question. So what's that question?
there are certain mind bodies which have an illusion of self.
Okay.
So when those mind bodies die, the old traditions have always said, maintained, that the illusion of self comes back in a different mind body.
Okay.
But that is the basis of karma, that this thing repeats till you realize that there is nobody.
Yeah.
It's like there is really nobody, but that realization has not been reached in most mind bodies.
Yeah. And I suppose really it's just we're back in the journey then. Either a big journey or a small journey, one that's countless lives or one that's in this life. And it's all about doing it right, becoming better, and all of that. So everything, nothing is denied. And if that's what's felt to be true, then that's what's felt to be true. But the suggestion being made at this little gathering is that this thing that we're talking about that can come back is not. So all those questions that are appearing to be asked and that wonderful curiosity is no one's. It's just curiosity.
Yes, but curiosity is still very interesting.
Okay. Yeah. It's lovely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's like a blade of grass, or a mouthful of water, or a dry tongue. It's like hearing. Each uh, tiny centimeter is like a rabbit hole of pure, raw, unknowableness. Each breath, every sound dissolving in the ears and reappearing. This is in and as everything.
Hey Frank,
Hiya.
but when I hear you speak, I feel a lot of like energies in my body, like I don't know, like it's like my heart was about to break open. My body's feels very strange. Just wonder whether you experience things like that in your body.
Well, really, that's just what's happening. So it's fully alive as that, whatever is happening. Heart thumping,
Yeah, I don't know if
sensations,
it's
thoughts.
fear or I don't know what it is,
Hmm?
but I don't know if it's fear, but it's like, mm,
It's
yeah,
it's a full aliveness. It's just nothing to do with language or thoughts because there's just nothing in it for really the brain. It's it's just it is the electric aliveness of just immediately sitting on a chair. And it's this unbelievable ordinariness, heart beating, breathing, sound of a voice. It is edge of the edgelessness. And also it's just what's happening. Just the word just is sort of appears to diminish its full as whatever is. So it's not a state or sort of in control or um, once removedness. It's flooding the senses completely as every thought, every idea, every sensation, every feeling. It's this. Woohoo! Oh fuck.
If you're bombarded with all that, then how do you move in that?
Well, you
Like,
see, it's the same way. How is that question appearing to be asked? It's not like a bum anyone is in there. This would be very heavy to lift the entire universe on the shoulders, to do the breathing, the thinking, grow the nails, hold the whole thing together, and somehow appear to ask a question. If there was anyone, there isn't anyone anywhere. There's a good old me. He's there holding the whole universe together and lifting it all and holding it in on his and hers bare hands, gripped, knowing everything. But no one's doing that either. So,
that's
so
incredible.
there's just not anyone in there. There's no one breathed a breath, no one pumped a heart, no one um thunk a thought. Thunk, we'll call it thunk. Um, it's just no one. But it's not a way to live a life by even. It's that sentence. It's just sort of can strike a chord in some way, but nothing to do with it's just apparently like that. It's also unbelievably ordinary because it is suddenly talking and hearing a voice. It is this.
I feel I can feel the energetics in my body more vividly. I don't know if maybe that's just what's happening.
Well, that's what is appearing to be said. So it's just what's happening, yeah. It's like control one tiny inch of this from the next thought, the next sensation. It's full aliveness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
I just made a cup of tea with honey, uh, and that's just fucking amazing.
Lovely.
Yes,
Mm.
wonderful.
Mm.
So, Frank,
Yeah.
the appreciation of something, is that creating a division? Like to step back and say, like, oh, this is so beautiful. Um, is that becoming separate?
That would be just what's appearing to happen. There isn't anyone. So it's appreciating a cup of coffee, then there's appreciation of a cup of coffee. If there's staring at a blade of grass, then they're staring at a blade of grass. There's looking. It's not like, you then there's someone in time that will decide, oh well, I am going to then appreciate this thing over here. It's just suddenly appreciating sunshine, suddenly
Yeah.
appreciating whatever,
Yeah,
suddenly suddenly starving, suddenly thirsty.
yeah. I was appreciating the sunshine and I was thinking, why, or the thought came, why can't I appreciate immaculate tension? Not that I want to try and do that. It just seemed like, I
No
guess the
one can
question is,
appreciate tension. It's fully tension. No one can appreciate stress. It's stress. No one can appreciate appreciation. It's appreciation.
uh,
So it's not like it's all just imaginations of whatever, it's unbelievably plainly ordinary and just whatever is. So you see, it's like words are a killer because no matter what is said, it's like, like that thing of we talked about it earlier about this idea of ease, and what I said um was that this ease that we're talking about uh, is immaculately as tension. But another way of saying that is that it's just tension then. So it's like sadness is sadness. It's not like a good sadness, a once removed sadness. Excitement is excitement. How do you do excitement or appreciation, or how do you do tension? It's tension.
well, I do it in the sense I would say I seek to get away from it.
Right. But that's just
Um,
what's happening. Like it's like, if suddenly there was cutting the hand on a blade, there wouldn't be, well, let's just say for 99.999%, there wouldn't be going back to get more of the cut of the blade. There would be probably a reaction away from it.
yeah.
And it's just tension, but it's not a just tension. It's full to the brim as tension. And really, then all that can be said is that it's full to the brim with whatever is, including trying to make it better, including for the desire for there to be less tension, for there to be more ease, or whatever is. The suggestion then is that there's no one desiring any of that. There's just whatever, hoping that there'll be less tension or stress or worry or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So it's so totally ordinary, like nothing happens.
That's really what I need to hear is just nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
But I feel like I'm
Everything
missing
else
it.
is just a story, really. It's just a story. Nothing happens. And nothing isn't a thing either. It's just nothing. And that's the gift that cannot be given or received. This no thing, this nothing, because it's nothing.
And it vanishes into nothing, it seems like.
What vanishes into nothing?
Well, just that everything is so transient, like it's gone as soon as it's here.
Yeah,
Um,
gone as if it never was.
yeah.
And
So it's
baby, it never was. It's just there isn't anything in there that can hold on to anything at all.
yeah.
So the whole lock, stock, and smoke and barrel is falling asunder. Like there isn't an inch, there might be traces of a pulled together memory that seems to arise that'll sort of tell a story, a vague story, but it's a loose top line story. Doesn't include the breathing and the gazillion apparent. appearances. It's a story appearing to be told that sort of grounds this in a sense of reality when it's just a story.
Wow.
Nothing is knowable at all.
Yeah.
This suddenly fucking sitting here and blabbering has no consequence or meaning or anything at all. It's just then what's appearing to happen. That's all.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Bye for now.
Love the sound of the baby in the background.
Yeah, I love that sound too.
It's beautiful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Hi, Frank.
Oh yeah.
Hi. So, what is this meeting actually about?
Apparently asking that question. It's actually not about anything at all.
Hmm.
And then it's free to be whatever, free to
Yes.
be exactly as it appears to be being. So like
Yeah.
asking that question, is this aliveness that can't be pointed to? It appears as asking that question. And
Hmm.
this response
Yes.
just seems to happen. It's a total mystery that this sort of communication appears, really.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Ha. Funny.
Really, really nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Purposeless, agendaless.
I almost didn't dare to ask the question, and then Maria said, "Come on, ask a question. It could be fun." Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Ah, lovely to see you.
And you.
And seems like the storm didn't blow you totally away recently.
Oh, mm.
It was still good, still okay there in that area.
Yeah, a couple of damages with the trees and front gate and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah,
good.
no big thing.
It can be quite freeing to throw away one's educated knowledge about something and just it can be very freeing in a way.
Well, really, if really, 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 if um, playing a game of imagination
Mm,
that there's absolutely zero explanation for sitting here. There's absolutely zero definition. There isn't a thing, and if you kind of can forget every single idea that's been passed on, every learned, held image of what this is, that it's a thing called life, that this is reality, that you are you and I am me, and blah, 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 blah. All of those for a moment. You could play the game of imagination of being in the dark. Then what can be said about this that's not learned?
mm,
What is this?
mm. Yes.
Well, actually, it's the question arising, what is this? That's this mystery. So it's fully alive as everything. And it appears like seeking and asking questions. It appears like responses. It appears like the sound of the car going by and everything else.
Yeah. Heart pumping, sweaty hands.
Yeah, thoughts and the thoughts
And the thoughts.
and the thoughts. So then,
Hmm.
you mean the thoughts? Ah, no, it is the thoughts also. It's just thoughts, just heart beating, just breathing, thinking, feeling, sensations. And it's not like it's fully alive as whatever.
Hmm.
If alive is the right word, I don't know.
Hmm.
So it's like, you see, if this is known, then something can be known to say about it. but it appears it's this, so it's talking, it's saying it's this anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Seems to be what comes out of the mouth. It's this, but it's appearing also as saying it's this. It's not like it's a known thing. So then that's why it's a communication appearing. There appears to be a certain sort of resonance or not. And it's not, it wonderfully, beautifully exposes the total absence of any sort of orchestrator. Because if there was an orchestrator doing life, well, it's the fucking last place.
Yeah,
Really, it'd be the last place
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that me would come to, because me would be able to say, I've got this now, I understand it, and I'll move on. But it's like the question earlier about how do you do all this? But you're not doing anything. What part are you doing exactly? Are you doing the heart beating, the sensations arising, is anxiety in the belly, hearing, breathing? What part? What part of all this? And so, no, sorry, including saying no.
Oh, that's
So really, in a way, this is sort of like a total bombardment of absolutely nothing. So nothing needs to be remembered. There's nothing useful here to hold on to, and nothing can really be held on to. But whatever, it's 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 just it's this, and it's saying good night. And so good night, and we'll see you when we see you.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. Take it easy. Have a lovely evening, day, or whatever. Bye.
Bye. Good night.